Hi there, how you doing? Okay. Yep, it's me with that thing on my head again. Okay, we are carrying on with the Technics SXKN 6000 NX sound and also SFX lyrics and MIDI and everything. So this time on this video we're going to concentrate on the synthesizer. The synthesizer side is basically this here. It's called a sound modular. It's got a rotating wheel that goes up, which is the X, and then you got the Y and the Z that goes left and right. So it basically goes in a full circle like that. You've got a reset button, and also as soon as you hit this mode here, this big screen here, which is massive, this is what I like about this keyboard. It's got a great coloured screen on, all interactive, by not actually touch control, but basically just before then the controls were touch, which is better, I think, because you got more of a better switch on than actually when you touch something. You can actually catch things and hit the wrong buttons and everything on these new modern keyboards with the touch screen. I like the old version where you can actually got a proper button that you can actually feel when you press it. Things actually happen, like your slider there. You see the slider coming up and down? There you go. That works for that's the slider for the bass and everything. And you've got multi-parts on these things, so this you can get lost. But anyway, we were on about the synthesizer. So on the synthesizer here, on this keyboard, we've got a full range of things. Now there's something that happens. If you press the mode button, the screen will only go until this thing keeps flashing. Then it'll go back to original. So to stop that, you press the mode and then you press the hold. And that stops that flashing light, and it holds that screen then for you, so you can actually control what you want to do. So on here we've got filter, we've got pan, and we've got brightness, we've got an envelope. These are the presets. And then we've got reverb, chorus, we've got pan and reverb, and we've got pan and DSP. Well, DSP basically is digital effects that give like a bit more ambient sounds to things. Here we've got an up and down button which goes up and down to here, so you can go up there, and this one basically changes all the values of what's going on, so that controls what will happen to this slide here, how much values you put into these slides. Okay, it's a bit complicated, but it's easy once you get used to it. I don't program anything of this, but basically if you really wanted to go into full program system, you could do all that. So if you go into a filter, we've got a bit of a Vangelis sound on there for Blade Runner. Okay, so if we went to the controller over here with a slide, we've got we can use the filter, the brightness and the resonance, and we can give it like this. While that's happening there, it says I'm pressing this button here, I'm just holding the key down. I'm moving this slider from, basically it's like a ball, it goes right around in circles like that, and you can just get the difference of sounds. There's the X and Y, and then there's the Z the other way, like. So if you go halfway in between, full control over everything. And also if basically that's not enough, you can just go into these settings here, so you can change the Ys, and you can change filters. So as that's on there, that's telling me that I've got the brightness from plus 36 to 28 to 5. So I can change that value by this button here. See the controllers going up and down, they're basically, that will give me a little bit more. Give you a little bit more of the power, and then basically if we go down to the filter resonance, so we go down to that one there, then we've got 64 to 124, so if we can use that, I'm going to take that down a bit. This will be the resonance now. See, they're not fierce now. Come in gently, so if I take this up even higher, this will be more of a fierce bit coming in. See that yowl? And it's quite good because you've got full control. Like the good thing about it is while you're doing it manually instead of on a screen, you've got more feeling over the controls. And there you go, that's just one part of it. So basically that's your filters, resonance and your brightness. Now if we go down to the next one, we've got pan and brightness. They always put them down into two versions there so you can play about with it. So we've got the brightness and we've got the pan. The pan is basically from one speaker to the left. So that's on the left, I mean the right, and that's on the left. So if you basically was playing in a band or something, you wanted to get that effect like it ran around the room, gives that a nice effect there. And of course you can change all the parameters on there, like, so you can run that one all the way down or all the way up. So if we get that one down to the bottom, that's a very, very gentle pan. You just about feel that difference. If we take it right up to something like about 70 or 80 on the pan, I can hear it's myself, but because this camera's probably only recording, I don't know, it might be actually in stereo, it might be in mono, I don't know. I don't know how the GoPros record. Pretty good apparently. So whether it's going to pick that up, I've got the camera about here and the speakers are each side, and we're not running through the studio or anything, it's just running through the keyboards of what we've got here. So it's giving that little bit of effect from back to forward. Go to the next one, the brightness. We can change the brightness. We can give it a bit more dullness or a bit more brightness on the yeah, it's giving it a bit more power. Envelopes. Now they're different things. What an envelope is basically, it's if you have a sound that travels. The release time would basically be like you've released the keys like that. So that's releasing fast. If you release it slow, then it would fade into a way like. So if we look at this one here, so we've got the release time is 0.64. If I take that right up to, actually that one is quite high. So if we take it right down to low, the release time should be a little bit different now. You can just about hear that difference. So when I let go of the key, it stops automatically, but it has got reverb that runs past that, so that's just giving that travel a bit. So also the attack time, the attack time is a bit different again. That's basically the time that you hit the key and what the difference would be if you hit the key. So if you hit the key, would the sound come in quickly, or would the sound fade away into gently, like? See, that's quite quick. So if we bring this one right down, this will attack gently, I think. See, it gives a nice gentle sound straight in, like. And then of course you've got the release time, which you can have to fade out. So if we bring this one into a fire in, and then the release time at the top one could be a bit higher. This will give a release time of like a little bit more of an echo sound. Oops, hit the wrong button there. See, now let go of the key and it's just fading in the difference. If we bring this one back again, if I basically hit this button and that button together, that will bring them back to normal. So that would be basically what would be set on to the factory. Bring this down to the attack, hit these both again, that brings that back to the attack difference of what it would be set to the factory. And you've got control over the controller there, sound controller. So that's that one. Every time you go and light up one of these, it controls this section here. So that gives that envelope control over here, like. So if I go to brightness, now I've got control of the brightness. If I go to filter, I've got control of the filter through the sound module. See, that one's there, then it's the brightness. You can have brightness or subtle. See, dull there. And then like the filter, that would be, that's your wow wow, and then there's your envelope. So bring this down here, you see, now you can see it's bringing everything tight together. Take the slider up the top a little bit, only a tiny halfway, and it holds on to the notes. Take it right to the top and it gives you a full Vangelis stuff, like. So you've got the full control over that, so you can have full let go of the key, or you can have it down here when you if we go to the left, that gives it a little bit more to the normal sound it would be. Bring it to the right, then that will give a little bit more of a glide of the sounds. And you take it to the top, then that gives the sounds that will follow on. And that's how you do with Vangelis stuff. But that's not the end of it, because now we go on to the next page and we've got reverb and chorus. So this is where the chorus comes in. You can have a nice chorus together, like 3 or 4 together. And if I change the value again onto here, so we go on to the top one, which is the chorus, I've got control over the sound wheel that will give me a range of 50 to 120. I can have a full chorus or gentle chorus. It might be hard to actually pick it up with this camera, but basically what I'm hearing is this is the difference. Like I can change the values again. I can go all the way up, so that'll give me more chorus. You have to play about with it to get to where you want to be, but we can bring that right down to low chorus, so I can take that values all the way down. So it gives that blend sound. Like, take them back to the same values again, and then we bring this one to the reverb. Now the reverb is going to be like a bit of a church hall effect, so we can bring this right down. We've got a little bit of a church hall effect on at the moment, because we've got what have we got on? We've got on a reverb and a chorus on the global effect, and also if I bring that one down to there, we've got a reverb here. Just gives that a little bit of a glide, and then take the values right to the top again. This will give it a lot more of a resonance. I mean, this is only just by one sound. There is loads of different sounds that you can pick up, like on the synthesizer. Then we've got a pan and a reverb, so that's got a reverb and a pan. So same sort of thing, but we got a depth reverb this time, and then the pan will take it from left to right again. See what I mean? Okay, top one we go to again, and this is the reverb depth. So we got 64 on, that's quite high on that, so I'll take that a bit more higher just to give them a bit more range. So this will take me to 64. So it's give it a pen depth to the left of there, so I've got a depth of left and right, and on the reverb. See, can you hear the difference? You should hear a difference. See, if you've got sort of stereo on your phone, or if you're listening to this through a TV, or and you have a stereo effect, like that will give you different effects. So yeah, we can bring them values back down again. Take that down to there, bring that value into there. So now she's back to normal again. Okay, we've also got a pan sound and a DSR. Well, this is the dynamic control. This is basically this thing again. This runs everything perfectly. So if I take it up to the dynamic controller, this will give me more power on this one. And can you hear the difference as it's going through the one speaker, it's jumping to the next, like gliding off from one to the other. It's got that little bit of a effect, so I can bring that value down again. And then it's basically, you can still do the sliding left and right, but it's gently, it's more of a sort of a very, very fine and then I can take the value up halfway, and that'll give me a little bit of a reverb. Can you hear it just coming in? And all can be controlled by this little controller here. Like I say, Technics, even this is about a 30-year-old keyboard. It was way ahead of its time. Like it was only the very expensive keyboards and synthesizers that used to have a sound control module. I will be starting to do some albums after my 432 stuff, because what I'm doing is the 432 stuff all the way through from to the planets. Just finishing off the moon at the moment. Then it'd be Mars, through the planets, probably Milky Way and stuff like that. Go up to about 20 of the 432 reverbs, and then I'm going to come back and do the 432 number 1 again. But what I'm going to do is start putting some more multi-tracks to it, so then it's going to give it a little bit more of a lively electronic sound to it, but with the actual backing, which I've made famous myself, like the Paul Stretch sound. And so that's how that's going to go, and then I'll probably use this keyboard in order to actually get the right sound. And when I'm recording on Audacity over there, then it'll be on this one, but running through the another layer onto this, and then put another layer on, and another layer, and all that. So build up nice little layers of synthesizer stuff, and go from there, like so. So that's the dynamic controller. Then we go down to the pan. That's basically going to give me a lot of pan or little pan, still controlling on this. Nothing down the bottom here. You see we've got very low pan down here. Up the top here it starts pulling the pan. And I've also got the facility by pulling the pan, I can actually run from left to right with this little controller. It's endless, absolutely endless. you could be here for ages. I mean, this is the full control basically of the thing, but if we went into something and we changed the sound again, see I'm only running on this one sound here. Now if I changed into the next layer on this right hand key, I've also got a warm sweep, and I've also got a synth pad 2. So once I go to synth pad 2, I can still go back into the mode, and now I'm running synth pad 2 on here. So now I've got control over synth pad 2, and I can change all these values in the synth pad 2. See, there's the slide. There's all the slide there. I can bring these two back again. Let's take this back to the value. I can also bring the reverb in. Same sort of thing. So you're taking the sound and you're pulling it apart and then changing all the values around. Would you into the envelopes? slide, bit of a brightness. Or even the filters. Absolutely amazing things. These things are doing things what thousands of pounds worth of keyboards used to do back in the 70s and 80s. And of course a lot more, because it's a different sort of keyboard. This is more like a programmable advanced keyboard, because you could also run this as well as the left hand. That gives a nice gentle whirling sound. And also if you've got Technicord on, or Technicord off, Technicord on, that brings in about 10 or 12 different keyboard blends together. Also, you can bring the other synthesizer on board. And also you can level and put two synthesizers together. So that gives you a bit of an idea what this thing can actually do. It's absolutely amazing. Also, you see, that's basically nothing, because if we went into the Sound Explorer, which is this button here, the green one, I can take all those synthesizers and use a lot more different sound quad presets. So as soon as you've got a preset, you take the preset, you play about with it. So you're using your preset if you really want to, and then you're changing all the values of that preset, and you can also store it in the memory if you want to. I always try and use what the factory gives you, because it's plenty really. So if we went through some of these effects here, we're going to take it onto the if I go to the right channel, this gives me at least 8 pages of a synthesizer that's been set up from the factory and put into presets. If I go into right 2, which is another layer of the right hand, then it gives me 2 pages of synthesizers that's been set up, but also electric organ, pipe, accordion, brass. We've got all different instruments on here, loads of different instruments. Not only have you just got a piano, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's probably about 20 pianos on that one. Electric pianos, we've got another 30 pianos on there. Go down to harpsichords and shavs, we've got 20 on there. Mallets. We've got, what have we got? We've got loads of things on there and all. Vibraphones. Saxophones. Vibrant. Mandolin. Glockenspiel. Bard. A little bit different there. And you've got some clock bells. A musical box. Tubular bells. A Slayster. Caribbean mallet. African. A blow Marlborough. A wide Marlborough. And a trilber. Loads. I mean, we're only on page 2, so if you went to page 3, you've got a toy piano. A twinkle bell. And a tuned assembler. And that's just on the mallets, so you could even go down to the next one, which are the guitars. You've got looks like you've got 30 different guitars here. Classic one, Spanish one, the touch flamingo, the nylon, bossa nova guitar. We've also got on a jazz guitar. And also, what have we got here? If you go to the next one, we're just going into the harmonics ones. The poke one.